Welcome to the Dorset Hero Awards. The waiting is almost over, and very soon now we'll be able to find out who our many readers and online followers have chosen as their heroes. It seems we've been reporting on the highs and lows of the pandemic on a daily basis for a very long time. But now, with what we hope is a much brighter future in prospect, it's time to look back on all those who have played their part in keeping our spirits up and provided support during the last year and a half. It's been our honour and privilege to hear such inspiring stories, and I must thank all our judges for working so diligently through all the entries. We have a lot to pack into the next 60 minutes, so please let me get proceedings underway by introducing our host for this very special event. He is a man you'll be familiar with for his courage and endeavour. I've had the pleasure of speaking with him in preparation for these awards, and you know what? It just takes a few minutes to understand why he is frequently in demand for inspirational speaking. He is Simon Weston, CBE.
Thank you, Bill. That's very kind. How do you judge awards like this? Well, let me start by giving my own personal thanks to all those who have been nominated today for the sacrifices you have made. We know that only some of you will be mentioned, but let me reassure you that we recognise the qualities you have and all the work you have done over the past many months. For this, we salute you. I feel really honoured to be asked to present these awards. For me, the heroes in life are the ordinary people who step up in the moment. When the bomb hit my ship in the Falklands, there were people around me whose actions I will remember until my dying day. Their bravery helped us to regain control of what was chaos. And thanks to the actions of one or two, my life was saved. I am so grateful to so many people, those on the ship, the Falklands nurses who are so rarely mentioned, and the airmen who comforted me on the 19 hours flight back to the UK. The heroes in my life are people you will have never heard of, and yet they mean so much to me that I have named my children after them. And that's why these awards are so important, because today you are going to hear the names of people you have never heard of. Now, I'm not saying that you have to name your children after them, but listen for a moment about the things they have done and consider just how important it is that we have people around us like them. Our doctors, nurses, and other medics have never been tested as much as they have in these recent times, and we will probably never know the true debt we owe them. Today, we will thank and honour some who have saved lives and returned loved ones safely to their families. We will also thank them for comforting the ones who never went home. At the same time, we know other key workers have played their role on the front line. They have been important cogs in the community who have helped the medics and the 999 services to do what they do best. And then there are the other heroes who we find in every corner of our lives, people who also deserve the spotlight, if only for one moment. And that's what these awards are about. One other thing to mention before the main event begins, I would like to thank all those businesses and organisations who have put their hands in their pockets to ensure these awards take place. Back in January, I sat on my couch in Cardiff and recorded a video asking for their support, not knowing if anyone would come forward, but they have stepped up so generously. And I would like to add my thanks to all the sponsors. Each will feature as the awards take place today, but let me step aside briefly so that our principal sponsor can say a few words.
I have been inspired, moved, and humbled as I read the citations about our local heroes. Some have made us angry at the discovery of people who've been abandoned by society, but not by you. And some have made us cry at the sheer resilience of individuals. It has been the validation of the reason we, the Talbot Village Trust, helped in sponsoring these awards, which was our way to say thank you to the individual workers and volunteers within the charities within Dorset and the Bournemouth, Poole and Christchurch conurbation. To say thank you to those thousands of workers who kept on working throughout the pandemic for us. The shop and supermarket workers, the council workers, the cleaners, and other staff in our hospitals, all who helped us through the pandemic. These awards have been about people who saw problems and ran towards them, about people who turned life's rotten hand into a force for good, about people within Dorset's charities who enabled their charity to function, and about those people who live heroically. The award I'm giving out, the Hero of the Year award, is to someone who is a hero every day, someone whose story put a lump in my throat. But more about this when we get to the finale of this event. Now let me hand you back to Simon.
I hope you were applauding at home, because the organisers at the Bournemouth Echo, Dorset Echo, Swanage Advertiser and Bridport and Lyme Regis News really appreciate all the support they have received. We are delighted to have such an important principal sponsor, and you will be hearing more from them when we announce the Hero of the Year. Now then, these awards are divided into 3 main categories, and each category will be introduced by someone else who I am sure will be a familiar face to you. So let me hand over to our first celebrity guest.
Hi everyone, thanks Simon, and what a great idea to say a big thank you to all our local heroes. Amazing, darling. My role here is to introduce the NHS category, of which there must be thousands of deserving cases. My heartfelt thanks goes out to them all. Here we have awards for our healthcare team, individual healthcare professional, and medical support. Let me hand you over, of course, to our category sponsor, who will announce the first award.
It is with great pleasure and pride that the Hotel Miramar is supporting the Dorset Hero Awards. As an historic hotel with a long history within the area, we very much feel part of the regional community. We cannot underestimate the impact of recent times upon us all, and it is with utmost respect and immense gratitude that we celebrate these very special people. The first award is for the healthcare team, and I will let Bill tell you all about the shortlist.
Thank you, Theo. The finalists are Forest Home Hospice, whose team have had to support many differing and complex needs of patients during this pandemic in ways we are told no one could have imagined. Then there is the Intensive Care Unit at the Royal Bournemouth Hospital. They are praised in their nomination for the non-stop work they've carried out since the beginning of the crisis. As a team, they've welcomed and trained new staff and have led from the front in looking after those who are seriously ill in our community. Finally, in this award is the University Hospital's Dorset Theatre team. Again, they've worked tirelessly through the pandemic, supporting the intensive therapy unit. They combined this with emergency surgery cover and running additional theatres for urgent surgery from Poole. To announce the name of the winner, General Manager of the Miramar Hotel, Theo Yakimov.
The winner is a team of people who showed what flexibility, creativity, and unremitting sacrifice can achieve. The winner is the University Hospital's Dorset Theatre team.
Our second award in this category is the Individual Healthcare Professional. The finalists are Victoria Tweedy, Dorset County Hospital. Vicky, as she's known to her friends, is part of the frailty team, which operates within the hospital. As a specialist nurse, her role is to ensure that any elderly or frail patients, or those with either diagnosed or undiagnosed dementia, receive the correct care, treatment and support. Then there is Mandy Harris from Lewis Manning Hospice. She is a nurse who has shown incredible dedication to Lewis Manning Hospice Cares patients over the past challenging year, going out of her way to ensure that each and every patient receives the best possible care and support. Also shortlisted is Minnie Klepax, the matron for ophthalmology at UHD Bournemouth, who's worked tirelessly for the last year making sure that all her staff have been safely risk assessed and provided with appropriate levels of PPE and shielding. To announce the name of the winner, please welcome back General Manager of the Miramar Hotel, Theo.
Among those who have suffered the most are the frail and elderly, and the excellent treatment they have received at the hands of our winner has earned her this award. She is Victoria Tweedy.
Our final award in this category is medical support. There are so many people who make up the whole of our health and care sector, and this award is to ensure everyone within it had the chance to be recognised. The finalists are Lisa Chick, Diverse Abilities. Lisa has worked as normal throughout the entire pandemic despite many staff being furloughed. Not only has she continued with her demanding role within the team at Lily's Place, caring for children, but every day off she cares privately for a 21-year-old disabled girl. Sheja Lolamani from Fairmile Grange was nominated for her role as clinical lead. We're told she has stepped in as a temporary care home manager since Christmas, when the post became vacant. Sheja has given her time to each member of the staff as they need it, despite the additional demands and responsibilities. Finally, there is Simone Byrne from Forest Home Hospice, who heads up the administration team. The hospice consists of many different teams, including the inpatient ward, community nurses, hospital nurses, counsellors, doctors, those looking after complementary therapies, and charity. However, Simone's team is the glue that holds everything together. To announce the name of the winner, please welcome back General Manager of the Miramar Hotel, Theo.
It is sometimes very easy to forget the people who are responsible for servicing the many departments of an organisation, and it is for that reason that our winner is Simone Byrne.
Well done to all of you. I mentioned earlier how important it was to have people you can trust around you, and I think we've all learned just what that means when your life could be on the line. Now on to our next category, and someone else I am confident you will know to introduce them.
It's all very impressive, isn't it? I have to say, the judges must have had to work hard on making such difficult choices. Now, for the majority of you who've got better things to do than watch breakfast television in the morning, I'm Dr. Hilary Jones, a practicing GP, who also pimps himself out as health editor on ITV's breakfast show Good Morning Britain. Now, until recently, there was this guy, what was his name? Piers Morgan, I think it was. Yes, that's him, Piers Morgan. He was our anchor presenter, and yes, I know you must all be missing him tremendously. But I'm so pleased I was invited to introduce this next category, the Emergency Hero Awards, which recognises those who've done great things in the face of the unexpected. All of you, every single one of you, deserve recognition, and I'm immensely proud to call you my colleagues. Before we get to the awards, I'd just like to spend a couple of minutes reflecting on how this virus has impacted on all of us. It's a serious business, of course, and it will last a while longer, but we will get through it. And amongst the things that will help will be to be grateful for what we do have and to keep our sense of humour. I mean, for example, I think we can all agree that back in 2016, not a single person got the answer right to the question, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And for those of you of a certain age, how many thought that after surviving all that unprotected sex in the 70s, 80s and 90s that you might die from an unprotected handshake in 2020? Who would have thought that something like this could affect every facet of our lives, going to the pub, the theatre, film and sport? Shopping is a different experience too. The masks, the social distancing, the hand sanitizer. At my local supermarket, they're still using temperature scanners. But I think those can affect your memory because I went in for bread, milk and sanitizer and came out with gin, wine and chocolate. And now I hear the European Medicines Agency have finally reached their conclusions about the link between clots and jabs. Apparently they've discovered that the EU have got all the clots and the UK have got all the jabs, and I couldn't agree more. Seriously, above all, we've been proud to reflect the magnificent work which every single one of you has been involved in. We have in this country a wonderful health service that is complemented by an emergency service which is second to none. And as our judges have discovered, they in turn have some amazing support from the public. Now let me introduce you to our category sponsor, who will also announce the first award in this section.
As a local company that has been in business for over 60 years and with nearly 200 staff, we were truly delighted when we were approached by the organisers to sponsor the Emergency Award. The last 12 months have been, without doubt, some of the toughest that we've all had to face. And to get this opportunity to recognise an individual who has gone that extra mile is brilliant. Goesby has also sponsored the 999 Award. This is not just for those on the front line of the emergency services, but also those who played an important part in ensuring emergency treatment takes place. That's why we have 3 very important shortlisted candidates. I'll hand over to Bill to tell you all about them.
Thank you, Nigel. The finalists are Jonathan Clark from the RNLI at Poole. He's been nominated for a life's dedication to Poole Lifeboat. The former coxswain of the city of Sheffield, Jonathan has served over 35 years with the RNLI. Following the introduction of the D-Class and Atlantic 85 vessels, he's helped lead from the front in developing the service and bringing through younger crews and boat officers for the Poole station's next phase as an inshore lifeboat station. Michelle Whitehurst is a public governor at University Hospitals Dorset, but moved to help the front line by volunteering to stand at the door of the hospital, making sure everyone was wearing a mask and sanitised their hands before entry. And there's Andy Byers, who's been nominated by his daughter for being an NHS responder. Andy retired in December 2019, and despite the start of his retirement not being quite as planned, he's made it count during this pandemic by clocking up over 5,000 hours as an NHS responder and volunteering at the local vaccine centres. Please tell us who the winner is, Nigel.
What a fantastic list of shortlisted candidates we have, and it gives me huge pleasure to announce that the winner is Andy Byers.
The next award is for Young Hero. The finalists are Jamie Groves, an 11-year-old lad from Canford Heath in Poole, who found inspiration from somewhere inside him following the death of his father. Out of the sadness, Jamie wanted to thank the people of Forest Home Hospice for the care they gave his father, so decided to take on the challenge of walking 2 miles every day to raise money for them. Lance Corporal Ben Hall from the Bovington and Purbeck detachment of the Cadets was so impressed with Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance when he saw it in action at Durdle Door, he too took on a challenge, building and sleeping out in a homemade Anderson air raid shelter to raise money for the rescue service. So far, he's raised, with gift aid, over £4,250. And there is Ethan Eccles from My Time Young Carers. Due to family circumstances, Ethan undertakes a significant caring role on behalf of his younger brother, which involves helping him to get out of bed and get ready for school, preparing his breakfast every morning, and keeping him motivated. Ethan does everything he can to put a smile on his brother's face and has even bought him a hamster called Bobby. He is very used to putting other people's needs before his own. Here's Nigel to tell you who the winner is.
The winner is a young person who has shown amazing courage in the face of the saddest of circumstances. He is Jamie Groves.
The next award is the In the Moment Award and sponsored by University Hospitals Dorset. The finalists are Michelle Scott, Bournemouth Hospital. Michelle works as an ITU consultant at Bournemouth Hospital, and during the pandemic, like so many, Michelle has found her world turned upside down. ITU were one of the hardest hit areas, facing an influx of COVID patients, which resulted in her cancelling leave, working day and night for 7 days straight, and covering on-call with significantly increased frequency when her colleagues were off sick, battling COVID themselves. Then there is Rafael Granada Rafaels, Rafa, as he's known by most of his friends and colleagues. We are told he's a man of passion, dedication, and commitment. Having first started as part of the bank staff at Royal Bournemouth Hospital in 2015, he's now part of the team staff in the surgery department. He's also an active member of Dorset Race Equality Council as the health ambassador for the Filipino community. At the height of the pandemic last year, Rafa, together with the other members of the Phil Brit community Dorset, he selflessly shared his time and services to help those nurses and healthcare workers who contracted the virus. Finally, there is a young girl who's won the admiration of paramedics after they were called to attend a friend who had become unconscious while playing in a park. Nancy Bastin carried out checks on the girl and then put her into a recovery position before trying to raise the alarm. Nancy was commended by the paramedics attending the incident for both her quick thinking and for knowing what to do in dealing with an unconscious child. Nancy said that she was only doing what she had learned at Cubs during the first aid training the previous week. To announce the name of the winner from University Hospitals Dorset, Chief Nursing Officer and Deputy Chief Executive, Paula Showbrook.
Coming as we do from the NHS, we would first of all love to reflect on all the support and kindness the public has shown us over the last year. And that's why we're so proud to sponsor these awards. We've had great pleasure being part of the judging process, and this was a very strong field that made it all the harder to pick the winner. Congratulations to all. Every one of them is our hero. Before I tell you who has won, let me say that we were delighted to see this individual work hand in hand with the emergency services in the way they did. You'll have an even greater clue when I say the training they'd previously received may have made the vital difference in the outcome. None of us knows when we might have an in-the-moment experience, but that's when training can play such a vital part, no matter if you're a paramedic, nurse like me, or simply a member of the public. It could happen to anyone, but a big well done goes to our winner because of the selfless bravery she showed as someone so young. Our winner is Nancy Bastin.
The emergency services. We take them for granted, and yet they are an essential part of all our lives in one way or another. For me, my mother needed the emergency services. She had a terrible heart attack. The police, the ambulance service, and the emergency services, once we got her into hospital, saved my mother's life. And 10 years on, she's still with us. So for me, I know what they mean. So now our final category, and once again, I'm sure you'll be pleased to see who's introducing them.
Hi, it's Kate Bliss here. I'm sure you'll know me best from my exploits on TV's Bargain Hunt and other antique shows. I'm so honoured to be asked to introduce the final category in these awards, Everyday Heroes. Among the charities I support in my home county of Herefordshire is the Little Princess Trust, and I know only too well what a trying time it has been for them. Anyone who has helped a charity through fundraising, volunteering, or has been a key worker over these past many months has my admiration. We probably all know someone who does amazing things out of the goodness of their heart or because they just have a passion for what they do. Well, they are the types of heroes who have been shortlisted right here. A fantastic well done to you all. Let me introduce you to the category sponsor.
We are proud to celebrate all of the local heroes and thank everyone for their efforts to make a difference during what has been a challenging time for everybody. JP Morgan's Bournemouth office plays a critical role not only in supporting the firm's daily operations, but also for our clients and the global financial system. More than 90% of our employees at the Bournemouth site live within 20 miles of the town, and we support a number of philanthropic initiatives across the community. We've also sponsored the Best Fundraiser Award. These are truly special people when we know how much charities have been squeezed in the wake of the pandemic. And I'm going to let Bill tell you who our shortlisted candidates are.
Thank you, Hannah. The finalists are Marley Keane, a 6-year-old from Poole who cares a lot for the environment. He loves wildlife, and last year, after the fires in the country, he raised £1,260 for the Australian Wildlife Charity. This year, he's doing a 12-hour sponsored litter pickup around Upton and Creekmore for 2 Dorset-based charities, Hedgehog Rescue and Dorset Wildlife Trust. We are told he is an amazing young boy. Then there is John Webber. He started off looking to raise £250 by seeing how many times he could cycle around Poole Harbour in a 30-mile loop on the UK's longest day. He rode a total of 8 loops amounting to 240 miles and raised £7,500 for the Diverse Abilities charity. Finally, in this award, there is 7-year-old Gracie Tiller. Gracie was so impressed with the Julia's House charity after a visit that she decided to fundraise for them. For 26 days, Gracie read a story online on her mother's Facebook page and raised £350 for the hospice. Over to Hannah Elson to let you know who's won.
Not for the first time, the judges were so impressed by the keenness of young people to help others. The winner is Marley Keane.
Now on to our second award in this category, which is for Unsung Heroes, sponsored by Apex Prime Care. The finalists are Craig Wells, who is the founder of the Together We Can charity. He was nominated for a fine example of community spirit in setting up a lunch and dinner service in the Bournemouth area to help those who might go without. His No One Should Go Hungry campaign sought donations from local food providers and then arranged pickup or delivery to those most in need. David Wood from Poole set up the Helping Homeless Veterans charity with no funds and has rehomed over 100 that were sleeping rough on our streets. We're told he has chased down the councils who in the past have not known or used the military covenant before. He spends his own money at times when the fundraising has dried up because of COVID, as he will not leave any soldier or veteran to sleep on the street. He also has a team of volunteers who deal with financial, mental health, and ongoing issues the veterans often have when they find themselves in that situation. Rob Franks, also from Poole, has successfully raised over £10,000 and collected and repaired over 470 laptops and devices to give to children from vulnerable backgrounds so that they could successfully learn at home. To announce the winner, the Chief Operating Officer from Apex Prime Care, Ben Patrick.
After the year we've had, this is a worthy award to those that have always gone above and beyond, but rarely receive the recognition they deserve. It was an incredibly hard decision between three individuals that have given so much back to their community. But the winner is David Wood.
Now on to our penultimate award. This award is for Best Key Worker, sponsored by Diverse Abilities. Please welcome Team Leader Emma Ray.
Thanks, Bill. Diverse Abilities has a mission to enable children and adults with disabilities to achieve their full potential by providing a lifetime of sustainable support and educational services. Our vision is to be the leading disability charity in our region, offering the broadest choice of high-quality services tailored to the individual needs. We are proud to be associated with these awards and all of the people who are striving to do the best for the community they are in. In a moment, when Bill has told you about the shortlisted candidates for this award, you will meet one of our family, Simon Shave, who will announce the winner. I'll let Bill tell you who our shortlisted candidates are.
Thanks, Emma. Now, just before I introduce the finalists, let me say my farewell, as I'm going to ask Simon to sign this event off in a moment. I'll ask you to hang on, though, to the very end, as we have a bit of a surprise for all those who were nominated. And I could not let this moment go without adding my own personal thanks to Simon Weston, who's been so generous with his time. I hope you'll agree he's made this event that extra bit special. If you have a team you wish to inspire, I promise you he comes highly recommended. The finalists of the Key Worker Award are Litchett Minster School. Kieran has worked so hard to keep students and staff safe at Litchett School, from ordering cleaning products to sanitizer to masks and shields. He is also responsible for ordering test kits to ensure everyone is safe. We are told this man has worked tirelessly to keep everybody safe, working extra hours without a thought for himself. He is a credit to Litchett School. Cassie Burton was nominated by her grandmother. Anne Brown told us Cassie has worked throughout the pandemic as a mental health nurse. Anne said despite this, she's coped with looking after her 4-year-old son. Her husband's also a frontline worker, and yet still has time to support her and her disabled husband. And the 5 ladies who make up the staff at Longham Community Preschool were shortlisted. Their nominators said they have worked tirelessly through this last lockdown with absolutely no complaint. Every day they come to work and greet the children and parents with massive smiles. They continuously ask how we're doing and if we need support. To announce a winner representing Diverse Abilities, Simon Shave.
And the winner is Cassie Burton.
We are almost done. But even in such excellent company, there is always someone who stands out from the crowd. Well, you will not be surprised that the same is true for these awards. There has been one person who has stood out above all others, and in the great tradition of these things, we have saved the very best until last. So I would like to invite our principal sponsor to return to the screen to announce our hero of the year.
The person we have chosen was nominated by My Time Young Carers for the compassion and dedication she demonstrates every day within her role. At the age of 15, this young lady is often stressed, lonely, exhausted, anxious, and constantly and selflessly putting the needs of others before herself. She's possibly misunderstood at school. She might not hand her homework in on time. She appears more mature than her age and sometimes doesn't have time to hang out with her friends. She's a hero in a band of heroes called Young Carers. She's a hero to her mum, for whom she cares daily. She's a hero to her siblings, for whom she cooks every day. She is a hero in her school and to her council support worker. She's our hero of the year, and her name is Katie Parker.
Thank you for watching these awards today. They will continue to be available to view on Facebook, so do tell your friends. We also thank all those who took time and trouble to nominate. And as I said at the beginning, they will not be forgotten. That's why we thought you might like to see their names in this roll of honour. Good night, stay safe.